action, and here's me bloody, brilliant curry.
What's going on, cluster cookers? It's Saturday, January 9th. The pandemic is raging outside. Donald Trump is trying to burn the country to the ground, and we've just learned that it's about to snow in Dallas. So this is a day that calls for some traditional British comfort food. And of course, nothing says traditional British comfort food better than a curry. And if you're going to have a curry, what better accompaniment could there be than a delicious pint of bitter? Cheers. And I hope I get that in one shot. Otherwise, this could end in tears. Then again, it usually does. So the curry that I'm going to be making is a lamb Rogan Josh. That comes from the Kashmir region of India. And yes, I did have to look that up on Wikipedia. So there's two ways of doing this. There's an easy way and a hard way. I'm going to do it the hard way. The basis of the curry is a paste. So you can either make that paste or you can buy a jar of curry paste. Now to make the paste, which is what I'm going to do, you do need quite a few spices and quite a bit of equipment. You need a pestle and mortar, you need a food processor. So it's perfectly acceptable to just go and buy a jar of Rogan Josh curry paste and use that as the basis of the dish. I'm now going to ask my assistant to walk you through the ingredients that you need for the actual curry. Over to you. I'm not your assistant, dickhead. Let's get cooking. If you're not going to make the paste, you can skip through to the next section. To make the paste, I've got a pan which is heating up on the stove top, just a small frying pan. There's no oil in this. I'm just going to put some spices in and I'm going to toast them. So I'm going to put in a teaspoon of black peppercorns, 2 teaspoons of coriander seed, and 2 teaspoons of cumin seed. Aha! I'm going to let these toast for just for a few minutes. So keep an eye on them, don't let them burn, but you'll know when they're getting done. They'll start to kind of snap and pop, and the smell will be awesome. So if you can hear that, it's starting to pop, getting a bit browner, a bit of smoke coming off them. Just going to keep them moving around. So it'll take about 5 minutes or so. Okay, so these are all nicely browning now. Smell really good, so I'm turning it off, and I'm going to transfer them into, you can't see this, or you maybe can, into the pestle and mortar. Like that. I don't know which is the pestle and which is the mortar, sorry. Answers on a postcard, please. And then just grind them up into a powder. Obviously, if you don't have a pestle and mortar, then maybe you can use like a rolling pin or something. I don't know. But it's better to use the seeds and toast them than to just use the powder, like cumin powder, coriander powder, because there's just a lot more flavour comes from toasting them. Okay, smelling good, looking good, nice powder. Now from here, it's very simple. Probably takes longer to get all the ingredients out of the cupboard than it does to make the paste. So what we're going to do is just going to put everything in the food processor. So start with roasted peppers. 75 grams of roasted red peppers. I've got about half a chili, because I'm kind of a wuss when it comes to spices. And then my powdered spice mix. In here I've got, tablespoon of paprika, teaspoon of smoked paprika, 2 teaspoons of garam masala, 1 teaspoon of turmeric, and half a teaspoon of sea salt. Goes into the food processor. 2 tablespoons of peanut oil, two tablespoons of tomato paste, and then let's have a look, about 2 cloves worth of garlic. So we'll call it that. Not an exact science, clearly. About an inch worth of ginger. Call it that. Little squirt of the cilantro, and then the spices which I just toasted, and then we're just going to whiz it all up. Ooh, fuck. Nearly lost it. So obviously don't need to use a hand blender, but it's just easier if you've got one. Let's have a look. That is your Rogan Josh paste. So once you've got your paste, you want to use about 300 grams, 10 to 12 ounces of the paste, a pound or so of lamb. I'm using lamb leg steaks, which I've cut into cubes of about an inch. A couple of onions, cilantro and ginger again, oil and butter for cooking. I'm going to use 4 bay leaves, 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, pint and a half of chicken stock, can of tomatoes, and 2 handfuls of red lentils. Right, let's get on and actually cook the curry. So, pan on. I'm going to use this wide-bottomed saucepan with a lid. This is going to cook for about an hour once I've put all the ingredients in. So I need, first of all, a knob of butter, like that, and some of the peanut oil, let the butter melt. Okay, that's melted, so in with the onion. Cilantro, ginger, bay leaves, beer. I'm going to give that 10 minutes. So once these start to get golden and soft, and it kind of smells like a hot dog stand, which is a good thing, then we can throw in the lamb. I'll turn this back up, all the way up, and we want to brown this lamb. So let's mix all that in. Some salt and some pepper in. Salt. Okay, give that a few minutes to brown. Now, this is at about 5 minutes. The lamb's kind of light brown. I don't see any raw parts in there. So we'll put some balsamic vinegar in. About 2 tablespoons, 1, 2. On that. Give this 2 minutes. And you'll see this starting to reduce down, the vinegar, and the sauce is thickening up. So I'm going to put in my 1.5 pints of chicken stock. Can of tomatoes, and it's all the way up, and of course the curry paste. Let's mix all of that together. Then last thing, red lentils, a couple of handfuls, about 2 or 3 ounces. Mix those in and bring it to the boil. The curry is boiling. Let's do a quick flavour check. Okay, so I'm going to put the lid on, turn it down. I'm going to let that simmer for 1 hour. See you in an hour. So I'm just checking this, I'm about half an hour in. Still quite a lot of liquid in it, so I'm going to keep the lid off and turn it up a little bit and see if I can thicken it up. Okay, there it is. Lamb Rogan Josh, basmati rice.